Spencer getting out of Toledo. Thanks, Billy. Olivia getting more responsibility. Thanks, Nurse Joy. Jordan get recruited. Thanks, Spencer. Baby Bookins, aka Amina, wants to kill Coop. Thanks, Mo and Tyrone. Episode 5 gave us so much clarity as well as another puzzle piece and moving forward into the full story of the Beverly Hills and Crenshaw gangs' lives in their senior year. The episode was definitely given all it needs to be gave. This is your good sis Erica Vane breaking down All American, and in this video I'm going to be breaking down episode 5. Let's get into it. One of the major plot points of this episode was Spencer and his commitment to Toledo and how that butthurt hating Toledo coach, I don't even remember his name, coach, we're gonna call him Coach Crunchy for now because he's on his way out. We don't gotta see his ugly, broke down, wrinkly, ridiculous, pale mug no more, I hope. Anyway, in this episode, Spencer is struggling at the start once he finds out that the Toledo coach is not going to release him, is going to hold him to his commitment, and Laura is like, we gonna fight that. So they're meeting at the James house, and they're having this conversation with Spencer. Of course, Spencer, as Spencer does, gets so worried, thinks he doesn't have any time. He has faith, but he ain't even leaning into it, y'all. And he spends a good amount of the episode struggling with that, because later on at school, he rolls up on Billy, shows him that the Toledo State website updated talking about how Spencer has decommitted, and now there's all this chatter online about him not being loyal. And all while this is happening, Billy is thinking of a plan to figure out how to not only help Spencer but to also help the other kids who have yet to secure scholarship offers. And I'm like, yes, we love to see it. One of the things that I have been saying is that for me, the way that Billy was going to be able to make up or at least get back on track from the BS that he was putting Spencer through from last season, from the finale of last season through the first few episodes of this season, was if he got him out of Toledo State and that commitment, and he did not disappoint. Billy Bean came through. Not only did he put together a combine which allowed Spencer, Jordan, JJ, Asher's coaching, Chris, Frosto, and others to show their skills one final time, be able to impress some college coaches that are in town for a convention, and actually secure scholarship offers, but he was also able to have a conversation with Toledo State's head coach and basically back him down and force him into releasing Spencer, because you was on some hating BS anyway, sir, and you really didn't want us to have this conversation with our hands. So I'm so glad that you understood the word, because whether you liked it or not, Spencer James was coming up out of this contract. I mean, this is Cali. Billy needed to channel Suge Knight. He should have channeled Suge Knight. But anyway, he got it done. No violence, no foul. Spencer is released, and in this episode, we actually got to see him get 3 additional offers up front, and then a 4th coming from Coach Kenny Boone, who was doing his homework and his research and seems like the best fit. So while he wasn't quick to jump on Spencer, while he didn't tell Spencer when they reintroduced themselves to each other at the Crenshaw Cafe, because Coach Kenny actually knew Corey and was at his funeral and they had actually met there, while he didn't disclose that he was the wide receiver coach for Golden Angeles University up front, he did so with the idea of being able to watch Spencer really confirm the man that he knew Spencer to be. He already knew that he was really, really talented and be able to make a full, well-rounded case to his head coach about why their program needs Spencer, which ultimately he does by the end of the episode. Now, Spencer struggles a little bit for a little bit of time trying to figure out if he should actually take the offer, and that's just because he's jaded, right? Like, he jumped on the Toledo offer, like I said that he shouldn't, and all of y'all was rooting for, but we gonna let that go because we moving forward or whatever. But he jumped on the Toledo offer, and look how that turned out to him. So for a moment in this episode, we see him like really weighing pros and cons and not necessarily trusting his intuition right away. But after a conversation with Olivia, as well as really thinking about it, and then a conversation with Coach Kenny, who says that he's like worth the wait and all the right things. And honestly, he is giving strong, powerful, inspirational, and supportive black man. And I am very happy for Spencer to be getting another one of those, because you can never have too many. You get what I'm saying? You can never have too many. I mean, not Pokemon, but you kind of want to catch them all. Anyway. If If you missed it, I did a live after the episode last night. You can go ahead and check that live out, but we definitely kikied about Spencer having this new coach that basically Billy can pass the baton to. And while I love what Billy has been able to do in Spencer's life, and for the most part, aside from the BS and the drama that he has brought every now and again, Billy has been a positive influence in Spencer's life. However, when Spencer is going off to the next level, going off to college, and now really going after these NFL goals, I do think that it's time for him to experience somebody else to really help push him to elevate to the next level. And I'm so glad that they introduced Coach Kenny Boone in this episode. After this video, be sure to go and watch that live because we actually had a really great time. It was such a good kiki, and I love going live with y'all to talk about the episodes. Before we get to Miss Olivia Baker, let's talk about the little notes in this episode. I don't know whether y'all are peeping it or not, but they are sliding it in here because we got a little scene between Asher and Layla, and I guess they cultivate some kind of best friendship and they confidants, and they texted each other, and they didn't do anything romantical in this episode, but they did something very solid in friendship building. And we already know that Asher has said that Layla has been the love of his life, or the person that he was really, really in love with. So I honestly feel like, at least from what we saw in this episode and then previous, that they are trying to set us up for a slow burn to Lasher 2.0. And we still don't want it. Did y'all not see my reel? Speaking of reels, follow your good sis on your favorite social media apps. I am on Instagram at ericavane.com, Twitter at ericavane.com, and that's where I give y'all my real reactions while I'm watching, because I love to tweet and watch a show. I'm also on TikTok at ericavane.com and Facebook. All the links in the description box down below. Come on and join me on your favorite social media site, and let's keep the kiki and conversation going. Other little things. Amina is gunning for Coop. For whatever reason, 2 plus 2 equals 4, 5 plus 5 equals 10, but I don't know what the hell is this, because sis has now gone from wondering about how her mother died, being pissed that Preach and Coop weren't necessarily being as forthcoming and don't seem like they are trying to find her killer, to now putting together little graphs and charts and watching old videos like she the new Nancy Drew of the ghetto. Come on now, you can't be taking Coop's title, little girl. And I guess like constructing some type of plan to take her out, and then have the nerve to be asking for advice so that she can give a little analogies and metaphors and all that kind of stuff, because whether she's going to be loyal or not, that story that she asked Coop about, or that little friend from school, she's talking about Coop. And it's giving, we are so over the Tyrone bloodline trying to come and take Coop out. Like, where are we going with this? This girl is 9 years old. Even if she wants Coop dead, how is she going to try to make it happen? I can't. But that is definitely a real thing. Lil Mina is going to be a problem. And from here on out, while we know that she is actually Mo's daughter now, and she is actually Preacher's daughter now, and we can't call her little orphan whoever, she is going to be baby Bookins, because this is a charge, sis. 9 years old or not, murder is a charge, and you going to baby Bookins. Also in this episode, Jordan gets a preferred walk-on. Actually, he did not get a scholarship, so let me be clear about this. Jordan gets a preferred walk-on spot to Golden Angeles University. Yes, the same university that wants Spencer. So they going to the same school, y'all. And I'm going to make a separate video about that, because I feel like there's quite a few things that gets baked into the idea of them going to the same school. First of which, Jordan's low-key resentment for Spencer. Yes, Spencer is his brother. Yes, he loves Spencer to death. However, Jordan has yet to arrive at a place of understanding that he has to work really, really hard and be accountable, not only for the things that he wants, but who he actually is. And he just looks at other people in different lives, with people looking at them in different perspectives, like Spencer with greatness, and thinks that he's automatically supposed to get it because of his proximity to it. And it's like, that's not how this works. And this could potentially be a problem. But they gel on the football field, and that's all the football team actually really care about. So the drama and all of that's going to possibly come in reference to Jordan's growth journey and still following Spencer and still maybe being in Spencer's shadow while in college is a whole other conversation. They gonna make it do what it do on the field. So that happens. I made this note in my live, actually. My only thing about this is that I feel like this was too soon. If Jordan was going to get this preferred walk-on opportunity, I kind of wish they would have drug it out a little bit longer, because Jordan is one character who seems to always get what he wants, regardless of the growth being there. Now, yes, he did great at the combine. He works kind of hard for it. People were talking about this in the live in reference to he did a really great job at the championship. He recovered from his injury and all of that. Yes, but Jordan Jordan is basically the same person that we saw from season 1, aside from who he is when he's with Simone. And at this point, I'm just ready for him to change. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comment section down below. In the live, Team Jordan was fighting for their life because we were all having a conversation around character growth, and Jordan is hovering at the bottom right next to Coop. All right, another major moment from this episode is Olivia getting more responsibility at an A, and this is prompted by Nurse Joy wanting her to sponsor a younger girl, a girl that's about 3 years younger than her, who is also struggling with addiction but is acting like she didn't, or acting like what she did isn't actually addiction and she doesn't need to be there. And I have been adverse to this ever since I read the synopsis, y'all. Like, the moment I read the synopsis, I was like, they're gonna try to make this woman a sponsor, and she's not ready. Because at the end of the day, Olivia is maybe 45 days out from her most recent relapse. And I just want her to be able to be a teenager. I don't want her to be worried about other people. I don't want her to have to show up for people. And one of the things that Olivia does is distracts herself with other people's problems. So I was just like, are we really going down this road? But I get it, because the way that they actually present this idea and execute it, Olivia 1, is not all gung-ho to just jump to this little girl's rescue. She really takes a good amount of time in this episode to think about it, and she really weighs the pros and cons. She really prioritizes herself, her mental health, and then a clear understanding of where this little girl is in her journey. And it's not until Spencer actually has a conversation with her about her being the only person that could probably make a difference for all of the reasons why Olivia thinks that she couldn't, that she actually says, you know what, you might be right, and go ahead and take the chance. Now, me and this little girl's gonna have beef if she puts Olivia into any compromising positions, because one of the things that concerns me about Olivia being a sponsor is that your sponsor is the one that's supposed to come and get you out of a ridiculous party, come get you out of, you know, situations that you done got yourself into. Well, her problem is pills, so it won't be like, you know, needles and really illicit drugs, anything like that. But like, let's say that was the case, she got to come into the little crack house and get you out. This little girl doesn't have all of these problems in reference to like domestic abuse or whatever, but part of a job of a sponsor when they sign up to be your sponsor is to show up when and where you need them when you're at your lowest. And I don't want Olivia to actually have to do that. I don't want her to be subjected to it. However, I think one of the things that the creators of the show are doing is showing us that she is now progressed to a place that she's strong enough to do it. And at the end of the day, if Nurse Joy thinks she can do it, then by golly, Miss Miley, I'm gonna go with Nurse Joy, because I'm always gonna bet on Nurse Joy. She ain't steered me wrong yet. But let me know what you thought about Olivia becoming a sponsor in this episode. And before I get out of here, y'all, we gotta talk about JJ, who also secures a scholarship after having his little diva moment. He wants to record himself, document this, document that. He wants to go out to be a quarterback, but he actually should be a linebacker. And I ain't gonna say I told y'all so, but I kind of told y'all so when y'all was running around here capping for JJ as the quarterback, when he was really just servicing the storyline of Jordan being out and the team not actually needing him, because at the end of the day, he's not as strong of a quarterback as a lot of people were saying last season, just because he was the replacement and he was doing all right. But I digress. In this episode, he has a humbling moment where he, you know, really messes up the quarterback combine moment, and Asher really reaffirms him like, yo, you're one of the best linebackers on this coast, like you really need to drop into that and just show everybody what you got, and does his whole little coach thing, and we love to see it. Shout out to Asher. Because he does this, JJ winds up with a scholarship offer to Coastal California, which is the school that tried to recruit Asher. And then Asher has a moment where he's like, that was my scholarship. One, Asher, you and JJ did not play the same position. That was not your scholarship, bro. Relax. And this is what Asher actually talks to Layla about and gets a clearer head about, and is able to realize how he was wrong and go back to apologize to JJ. And honestly, all of that is just there to show Asher's growth. He's not handling the news of not being able to play football perfectly, but he's doing the best he can, and he's definitely doing better than the Asher would in seasons 1 and 2. Alright, y'all, that's my full breakdown of episode 5, season 4 of All American. Now it's your turn. Jump down in the comment section and let me know what you thought about the episode. What was your favorite points? What did you miss that I might have brought up? Let's talk about all of that and more in the comment section down below. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button and turn on your bell notifications so that you don't miss any of my All American videos. It's your good sis, Erica Vane. I will be coming to you with more All American videos this week. So again, subscribe if you're not already, and keep it locked until the next amazing All American video. Bye.